Facebook's personnel sense love they are by siege. Each few days down there seems to be a crisp allegation or leakage how paints the public web in the lowest probable lighting and telephone call in issue if it poses a risk to its members, broad community and though democratic state himself. Mr. Collins declared the documents show how the public web extended giver several preferred apps accessing to users' friends' information following a cut-off spot how was imaginary to defend its members' confidentiality. He added how the emails showed the company had as well desired to do it hard for users to aware on confidentiality changes, and had secretly investigated smartphone users' manners to identification and gear competing apps. The major traction of its defense is how the emails had been cherry-picked to color a erroneous image of which very happened. But does its resist attack stay up? One of the key obvious gotchas of the documents was Facebook's reiterated references to whitelisting, the trial by that it grants specific accessing to users and their friends' information to several tertiary parties but not other. Before how Spot, any software developer could construct means how done use of Facebook users' friends' birth dates, photos, genders, statute updates, likes and position verify-ins. Time such a accessing was to be cut away, Facebook told it would yet enable apps to see who was on a customer's friends listing and their pertinent section pictures. New apps necessary to use once, and current ones were taking into account a year's elegance. But Mr. Collins told the emails shown how several firms kept complete accessing to friends' information following the 2015 last date. The documents surely show several apps desired stretched rights, though it is not ever precise which the definitive result was. But Facebook says it just gave brief-term extensions to the broad band of data on friends and did so in cases while apps necessary more than period to adjust. It's overall to assist partners transfer their apps for plate changes to hinder their apps of breaking or challenging destructive experiences for users, it explainable. The names eliminated several of the greater brands mentioned in the emails, consisting Netflix, Airbnb, and Lyft. The conclusion is how, if they were really given specific length term rights, it was just to accessing full inclusive of friends' names and section images. But with Facebook does not reveal that developers include these additional rights, it is unfeasible to aware how wide they are proposed. Facebook has length kept how it has never sold out human beings' information. Quite it told the great bulk of its profits go of request advertisers which various of auditorium they wish to goal, and later managing their promotions at users who match stick. But Mr. Collins told the emails as well shown how Facebook had often debated ways to do cash of provided accessing to friends' information. Marc Zuckerberg oneself wrote the next in 2012, I'm receive more than on executive board in closing downward several components of plate, consisting friends' information. Out of restrictive allocation or accessing to friends who use the application, I don't believe we include any way to get developers to pay us at all in addition offer payments and ad networks. Facebook's objection is how it explored lot ways to construct its industry, but eventually which counts is how it never loaded developers for the type of facility. We eventually populated on a pattern wherever developers did not requirement to buy advertisement, and we extended to ensure the software developer plate for complementary, it told. And several users may be concerned how it was the income reason quite rather than concerns for their confidentiality how established the result. Else standout opening was the reality how Facebook's crew had no illusions how an upgrade to its Droid app, that gave Facebook accessing to users' urge and lyrics communication accounting records, risked a print clearance. The is a cute top risk item to do of a PR prospect, wrote one execution, addition how it could conduct 2 articles proverb Facebook uses new Droid upgrade to pry in yours individual lifetime in always more than horrifying ways. In the talk how accompanied, personnel debated test a technique how would need users to clicking a key to stake the information but escape them creature shown in Droid permissions dialog at all. Mr. Collins claims the outcome was how the company done it as difficult as probable for users to be aware of the confidentiality changing. Facebook's defense is how the changing was yet choose in quite rather than made by failure, and how users benefited of superior suggestions on who they could urge via its apps. There was a debate on how our judgment to start the choose-in characteristic would communicate in the Droid operational framework's own permit screening, added the company. There was not a debate on avoiding request human beings for permit. If you take its explain or no, it does not see nice how management team were obviously concerned how journalists might excavate in which the upgrade was making in the at first location. The hazard is how the adds to the experience how time Facebook wants its members to confidence it in their data, the company has an revulsion to possessing its own behavior scrutinized. Portion of the way via the hundreds of lyrics heavy pages is a choice of graphs. The monitoring was made via Onavo, an Israelite analysis business how Facebook purchased in 2013, that stipulated a complementary virtual individual web application. VPNs are characteristically established by users needing an additional stratum of confidentiality. Mr. Collins charged Facebook of transport out its surveys out of customers' expertise. Its answer was how the app concluded a display how set out how it gathered data on app use and comprehensive how it would be utilized. It is real how the application's confidentiality politics set out how it might stake data in related organizations consisting Facebook. But it is doubtful how lot of its millions of users concerned to recite for the upper build pledge to hold you and yours information secure. You do not get to be one of the planet's largest companies fair by game pleasant. So, Mr. Collins' allegation how Facebook had undertaken violent official position versus rivals is perhaps unsurprising. Though so, it is exciting the extent to that Mr. Zuckerberg is implicated. We support a little listing of strategy competitive environment how Mark individually discussed, Open 1 memorandum. Apps manufactured by the companies on the listing are object to a quantity of restrictions, any use for how indicated is not allowed out of mark level mark off. As the instance of Wicker shown, he is readily to get a hard link. While requested if Facebook should cut off Wicker's accessing to friends' information on the day of its start in 2013, front of the after broad crackdown, his answer was short. Yeah, go for it. Facebook suggests such a behavior is regular. At how period we done the judgment to limit apps constructed on top of our plate how copied our mandrel function, it told in its answer. But it added how it now believes the politics is of date so is removal it. 2 deceased for Wicker, that close in January 2017. And Facebook's issue is how political community now include else cause for new regulation to range against competitive behavior by the technology giants. Digital rights campaigners as well include new reasons to clamp. They show a design, encouraged by marketplace domination, of misleading and exploiting behavior, that must be stopped.